Fox News now learning the first impeachment inquiry hearing of President Biden will be held next Thursday, and the House Oversight Committee will likely subpoena bank records of Hunter Biden and James Biden this week. Meanwhile, Attorney General Merrick Garland will be on the Hill tomorrow for a marathon hearing before the House Judiciary Committee. Miranda Devine is a columnist for the New York Post and a Fox News contributor. She joins us now. So Merrick Garland on the hot seat tomorrow. What do you expect that we might learn from this? Because there will be a lot of questions, I'm sure, about the Hunter Biden investigation and just how much autonomy the now special counsel David Weiss had through this whole investigation.
Yes, John, that's exactly, I think, what the Republicans will be zoning in on with Merrick Garland. And of course, there's been an enormous amount of revelations about that inquiry in Delaware into Hunter Biden, how it was slow-walked and obstructed, and every time they tried to have a search warrant to look at a storage locker of Hunter's or a cottage he was living on his father's estate, they were blocked. The investigators were blocked by Department of Justice apparatchiks, and that flies in the face of what Merrick Garland said, particularly when David Weiss, the US attorney in Delaware, told his people, the IRS investigators, at a meeting that he didn't have the power to charge in other jurisdictions where charges needed to be brought against Hunter Biden on tax issues, being California and Washington, D.C. And Merrick Garland told Chuck Grassley, no, that wasn't true, that Weiss had ultimate authority, full authority to bring charges wherever he wanted. So I think that they'll be trying to find out how his account differs so greatly from the IRS whistleblower's account. You know, also just the matter of the sort of plea deal, the sweetheart plea deal that was given to Hunter Biden that then fell apart. There's a lot for him to answer.
And again, next Thursday is going to be the first impeachment inquiry hearing. Jim Jordan has put out a sweeping request for documents and information about the investigation. He also wants to hear from David Weiss on October the 11th. He is also calling a number of other officials from the DOJ, either for interviews or testimony. We could get a lot of very interesting information in the days and weeks ahead, Miranda.
Yes, and look, what that tells you is that this is bigger than a story about corruption, which is as old as Washington, D.C. itself, and influence peddling. This is about the cover-up. And so many branches of government were involved, the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ. We've seen a lot of that come out. For instance, the Dirty 51 letter from those 51 former intelligence officials pretending that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation that got Joe Biden out of a tight spot before the election. That has turned out to have been organised by Mike Morell, the former acting director of the CIA, who was hoping to become Biden's CIA director, and he was put up to it by a phone call from now Secretary of State Antony Blinken, then a campaign official for Joe Biden. So expect to see a lot more. And the beauty of the impeachment inquiry is that they will have more powers. They will be able to offer Hunter Biden's former business partners immunity, which has been a bit of a sticking point previously. And I think they will also be taking a leaf out of the January 6th committee book and really be ruthless about enforcing, compliance under threat of contempt with these subpoenas, and also ensuring that anyone who lies under oath is punished.
We just should point out, just before we go here, Miranda, that the White House has issued a statement on the upcoming impeachment inquiry saying, quote, extreme House Republicans are not letting facts get in the way of their outlandish accusations. Speaker McCarthy announced that the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer would be leading their impeachment inquiry, someone who has already made the broad accusation that President Biden, quote, should be treated as a criminal. Interesting days ahead. Miranda, as always, good to see you. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.